Hello and welcome to another How Lou Sees It review. Today I'm looking at Carmarace. It is a game that was published by Bored to Death Games, and it may look familiar. I did an interview with the game designer, and I'll post a link to that in this video. But let's go ahead and look at the final product. I've had this for a while now, finally getting around to the review. And so let's go ahead and take a look. If you open up the box, we got the box up here. It's fairly decent sized, and that really, the size there is to accommodate the board. Here's the back of the box there, and you open it up, you pull it out, you're going to find your instruction booklet, also quite large. Not necessarily needed to be this big, but the instructions are fairly good. I mean, fairly understandable. There isn't a whole lot of diagrams or things, but it's a fairly straightforward game, so there's not really much that you can get lost in. I will bring up a few things that we kind of got confused on as we played the game. Here there's on the kind of the summary, which I think all games should really do, so this is really kind of nice to have set aside. But everyone also has player cards that have kind of a turn summary reminder as well, and I'll show you that. So this board is very, very big, which is pretty cool. It is a trifold, or it's 3 panels per top and bottom here, so a total of 6 panels, and so it folds up nicely. It works really, really well that way. The finish on this is very, very nice, so very good quality board. I think my only complaint component wise really is there's just a few minor flaws, and it's probably just my game probably, but I don't know if you can even see that, but part of this board here, there's kind of a weird crease that runs along here. It's not a huge deal, it's not even really in the playing area, so but anyway, I'm a perfectionist, so little minor flaws like that kind of get at me, but it is minor, and really honestly, if that wasn't there, I mean, this is a really high quality, top-notch production here. You got 6 of these little meeples, little hitchhiker guys. You got all the different colors. The game also comes with, there's 4 cards up there. Pull a closer look. Everyone will be able to utilize these little turn order reminder cards, and they're also double as specific cards for people, so that you can utilize special abilities in the game. So for example, this one here, if I can get this to focus, apologize. Special ability, subtract 1 from die you rolled. And then we have Mia and Tia here. Their special ability is to play a card, play a card face down, as +2 speed. Okay, and we'll get into what that means. But quality of these are actually pretty thick, sturdy little cardboard cards, if you will. Same size as cards, but they're really, really nice. Besides that, you have 4 dice, 2 green and 2 red, and you have 200 cards here. You have your vehicle deck, then you have your karma decks for the road, for the sky with the airplanes, and the trains. And that's everything that comes in the game, and like I said, quality wise, everything really is top notch. The card quality, I don't know if you can kind of see there, it does have this vinyl type finish. It doesn't feel exactly like some of the other ones that I'm used to, but they are very, very nice cards. So kudos to Bored to Death Games on the quality of the components. Okay, so what is the gameplay like though? Okay, so the object of the game is to go from that corner up there, there's a little parking lot, across this ginormous board, down here into the other corner to the convention. And whoever gets to the convention first gets a very limited edition special collector's item. Okay, so that's the theme of the game. Let's get down to the cards. That's really where the game's at. So, one thing that's really cool that I like about this game, and you can see that this back of this deck here, these cards shows one of each. This is your vehicle deck. Okay, so you have all sorts of things in this deck, and it's pretty awesome. You'll see the majority of the cards are vehicles, okay, and then you'll have more of the road karma cards because those are more more oftenly used, and then you'll have plane, and then a little bit fewer train karma cards. And what's really cool at this game is so if you're playing with like a 2-player game, your hand size is going to be the number of players plus 2. So if I'm playing a 2-player game, I would be able to draw up to 4 cards. Okay, and I think this is maybe one of my favorite features of gameplay in this game, is that I can take so of those 4 cards I can draw from any pile. If I want, I can take 4 vehicle cards, or I can take 2 vehicle cards, and as I draw them I can see, okay, I got a hover bike, we got a car here, draw another one, so I have 3 road vehicles. So then if I'm going first, I would probably draw one of these car karma, oh man, that's a tongue twister, car karma cards, because what I'm looking for is good karma, which I did draw here, that would be able to help boost my speed of my vehicle. Okay, so if I did that on my opponent's turn, they start drawing some cards. Ooh, they got an airplane. Okay, so maybe they're thinking I'm going to hop on the nearest airway path and utilize this guy. Because as you can see, this is a speed of 20. That is pretty awesome. Okay, the planes and the trains move a little quicker. Some of my other car ones, for example, this is a speed of 5. This one's pretty awesome though, it's a speed of 11. This guy's a speed of 8, and so on. So anyway, so he takes this. He's gonna look, and maybe he wants to take some plane karma then to see if he can. Nope, he got an afterburner, so that could boost his airplane. And these cards would remain hidden, by the way. I just have them open so that you can see them for the demonstration of the game. So he's going to be on this airplane, and airplanes you actually utilize until you get to, I'll just go ahead and show you on the board. Airplanes you have to utilize on these spaces here, for example. This is an airport. You can hop on, follow this all the way to the next airport terminal. And you would actually remain in that same vehicle airplane until you get to that terminal. So pretty good start here for this other player. But you know what? He knows that I took a car karma, and so he's thinking that I'm doing that. So he's going to draw a karma, hoping to get something bad to play on me. He didn't get me. He didn't get anything bad there, but he's going to draw actually another one as well. Excellent. So he has a red karma card here for stop for gas, -2 speed. Okay. So once everyone's, on your turn, you draw up to, come down here. You draw up to your maximum hand size. You play a transportation card. So I have an example set here. So say for one turn, this player plays this card down here, and the player can play 1 karma card. Now you see I've been referring to the speed, but there's also a number up here, 5 karma. So that means 5 karma cards can be played on this vehicle. That's the maximum number of karma cards. So there's already been one played, which gives me a +3. The other thing that's cool about this game is actually the text on the card, the artwork, very, very cool. But the other thing here is you can play at kind of different difficulties. You can play a real basic game and pretty much play without any of this text. Okay, you're just ignoring any of this extra text, and it basically just becomes a speed plus minus type deal. Very basic, good way to go with the kids. There are some cards that you may want to take out. You'll look through them, just kind of like a drunk driver and different things like that you may not want to play with the kids, so you don't want to check those out. But anyway, so the text actually really makes the game, though, because this is where you get some interaction with the cards, and there's cards that you can place on top of karma cards. Very, very cool stuff. This one is a carjack. You'll see it's actually yellow, so basically this means that it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It's kind of a risky type thing going on. For example, this says roll a green die and a red die, place one of them on the transportation card. The die value replaces the transportation card's speed. Okay, so if you got a low value car or something, or whatever that happens here, someone plays that on you, that could, potentially, lower your speed from what was 5 down to 1. Then there's also red karma cards, bad karma, and this alcohol test is a -2 speed, and if played on the drunk driver, his karma phase ends, which means no more, cards can be played. They skip their movement phase and they move back 2 spaces, so pretty ouchy there. Okay, so anyway, lots and lots of cool cards. Some of them are pretty funny. We got some good humor to the cards, but there's also ways that variations that you can play, so that if you have a handful of cards that you can't use or something, as long as it matches, so like this card karma is a card karma, I could play this face down as like a +1 or a -1 on someone. And some of the abilities, so like Mia and Tia here, they can place a card face down and make it +2 instead of +1. Things like that. You're able to utilize some of those cards, which is nice. Let's see here. Well, that kind of gives you an idea. I don't want to show you all the cards. That would take a really, really long time. But just kind of flip through a few more of these vehicle cards, for example. We got the Explorer XL, which is pretty cool. It can be used on train tracks. So this one, for example, where's a good spot here? You can hop on a train track up here and then hop right off wherever he wants to, basically, which is pretty cool. If you end your turn with this on the train tracks, you're going to be able to keep this. If not, at the end of the karma phase and everything, you're going to go to the movement phase, calculate the speed, move it there, and then you may discard up to 2 cards after that and draw that many. So you can kind of cycle through your cards there. But looking at the board more here, you can kind of play a little bluffing game too. So if you're going along here and you can stop your movement unless the card says otherwise. I don't think I've run into one, but if I want to, if I'm here and I have a movement up like 6 or something, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I could stop right next to this airport terminal, just a few spaces less, and make the other players think that, I just drew an airplane, I'm going to hop on the airplane. So on their turn, they may, waste their turn drawing airplane karma cards when I'm actually still planning to continue down the road, or maybe I have a train actually, and I'm going to hop on the train the next few turns. So there's some really cool things that you can do kind of bluffing wise there. This one here, the peace and love, is the speed of 1, but basically you have tons and tons of karma that can be played on it. And then there's vice versa, other cards that pretty basic cards, but you can't play any karma. Or like this one, the People's Transport's a speed of 8, pretty good general card, but only a karma of 2. And sometimes, you know, limit of karma could be a good thing. So the limo here is an interesting one. Corners, there's a few cards in here that are affected by corner spaces. So the limo being the long card that it is, luxurious card, it's costs 2 movement instead of 1 for turn. So if you're coming around this corner here, 1, 2, 3, well, that's going to actually take up 2, 3, 4 on the corners. And for example, even here, going into the convention, you gotta make sure you have extra movement there to be able to turn into the convention. Anyway, all sorts of cards, okay? As you can see, there's just all sorts of stuff. You got these big monster trucks, and they came up with some really kind of fun names for the cards. And then you got in smaller text here, just kind of flavor text, which is kind of fun. And then the text up here with modifiers. You know, if you're in a cop car, then no one can play cop cards on you, like speeding or things like that. So very, very, very cool. The game play a very basic game. You're just drawing cards. Sometimes, you know, you may not draw exactly what you need, but you have the ability to lay the cards face down, which is a nice feature to get rid of cards, because that next turn you get to draw back up to your hand size. So, I mean, there's, you know, you may want to hold on to cards for maybe like a move that you're planning in the future, but at the same time, you can really cycle through the cards pretty quickly and utilize them in a good fashion there. Let's see what else. As far as the game length, it says 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and I think we played with 5 players, and this last time, and with 5 players, the game felt really, really long. I think we maybe even played 2 hours. Now we had some new people to the game and everything, but it really is a big board, and the game just felt kind of long. So I don't know. I think if you're playing with people who've played a while, it would move a little bit quicker. But that's kind of my only complaint, really, gameplay wise, is the game length just seemed a little long to me. I don't know. I see why the board is so big, because a lot of these cards, I mean, you kind of need the space to utilize the strategy of using either the trains or the airplanes and things like that. Because if the board was, you know, smaller, then you kind of lose the appeal, I guess, of the train and the airplanes and things like that. So, oh, some of the other things that I failed to mention here quick. So in this corner here, you may have noticed this. There's a few other things. So like there's some stop signs on the board for like these train crossings. Even if you have like a space, you know, you can move 10. Unless the card says otherwise, which some do, you know, you'd have to stop at this train crossing. The other thing that you could come to are these little arrows, these white arrows. And when you come to one of these, let's say you have a movement of 5 and you're right here, you can go 1, 2, and then at this point you're going to utilize one of these dice, and you pick one of those up. When you reach an arrow, you basically roll the die. I rolled a 4, so I'm going to go east. Okay, so I come over here. Basically all the arrows are set up so that they're either pointing east or south. So anyway, I come over here, I'm going to have to go east. Now that may or may not be, you know, crucial at this point in the game, But there are points where you definitely don't want to go a certain way. Well, what you can do is, like I said, you can always choose to stop your movement. So I could go 1, 2 and stop right here, and that way on my next turn I can actually choose which way I go instead of leaving it up to the dice roll. Okay, and just little reminders there on what is what on the board. Okay, so I think I kind of covered everything, and I kind of been giving you my feelings of the game throughout on the different things. The quality of the components, fantastic. The gameplay, it really runs pretty smoothly, and it's really kind of fun to see, what vehicles come out and the different combination of karma cards that can be played on the person. The person may think they have a killer move lined up, and then all of a sudden the karma cards come out. You can play good karma cards on opponents, and there's a variation of the game which I kind of like, is that you can play, for every good green karma card that you play on an opponent, you automatically get to come over to the board and move your guy automatically up 2 spaces. So that's kind of a cool element. And there's just little minor tweaks here and there, variant things like that they've added that make the game really fun. So really the only downside that I can think of is the game length. It seemed just a little long to me. That's a personal thing. We did enjoy playing it. I have enjoyed playing it. I think it's great artwork, really kind of a fun idea. So if you're interested, Carmarace, it is a really, really enjoyable game, 2 to 6 players. Variability is huge in this. The map is obviously going to stay the same, but the combinations of vehicles that you're going to get, draw, karma cards used and played, the players with their special abilities add a little bit of variation as well. The dice, I didn't take a real close look at it. Very, very basic, simple dice here, just with numbers on them. They aren't used all that often for the arrows, for the GPS, and for a few of the kind of risky move, yellow type cards. But yeah, I think very well done, and kudos to them. It is a pretty quick game to get going. So that's nice. It's really pretty simple to teach people. The things of confusion here that we came across was like these little train stations. It talks about you're staying on there. There's really no guidance on the trains, however, as far as like when you come to this intersection here, do I have a choice to go this way or this way? Or it looks like the tracks make me go this way, but then if I hop on here, I guess there wasn't really any guidance in the instruction booklet on that. So that was the little thing of confusion that didn't seem to be addressed very well in the rule book, and maybe that's just something I missed, honestly. But anyway, so Carmarace, go ahead and check it out. I believe you can, if you go over to Board to Death Games, their website, I'm sure you can find an avenue of purchasing it through there. And I believe they had planned some future expansions. I don't know if they're going to do a Kickstarter or something with that to pull those out, but different board, even more vehicles. I'll just kind of close out the video here, show you a few more of these cards, just because they're really, really cool. Here you got this ice cream screamer. Okay, it's a speed of 3. At the end of your turn, you may draw up to your maximum hand size, so that's pretty cool. You use a lot of cards, and you can still draw at the end of your turn so that you're ready to go to give karma on